How you doing? I'm Darren with Kickin BBQ. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today we are talking Texas style beef ribs, brisket on a bone. They are gonna be fatty, they are gonna be rich, they're gonna be juicy, smoky, and most of all, they are going to be delicious. If you've never done beef ribs before, this is the recipe for you to try. It's gonna be very simple. We're not even gonna wrap these things. We're gonna make a very basic Texas-inspired beef rub, salt, pepper, garlic. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of Lawry's infusion, and we're gonna smoke these out on a Texas-made smoker, and I just can't wait to try them. So let's bring you in and show you how we're going to prep up these Texas-style beef ribs. All right, so you can see here I have a rack of beef ribs. Now we do have some fat on here, and I know some people say that they prefer to leave the fat on. However, these ribs have so much intermuscular fat in them. I like to take the fat, as much fat as I can off the top, and then just season it up, make sure we get a good bark on there and whatnot. I wanna try and do this without taking off too much meat. So right here, there's a light layer of fat, followed by a ton of silver skin I can see under there. So I'm gonna start by taking that off. And all I'm gonna do is slide the knife underneath and just kind of poke through, and then slowly peel this back, trying to take off as little meat as I can. You probably get some, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. Slide my knife in, kind of cut through until I have something to grab onto, and then just slowly take that down to where I have meat. There's a little bit of a gash in there from the butcher, so that's not really ideal, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna take this down some more, and then I'm gonna come in right here, just keep doing that, like so. And come in right here, take this off. So you can see we got some meat showing down there. You can see we have some nice marbling in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep taking off the rest of this fat and the silver skin. So we have a big chunk of fat right here. I'm just gonna take that off. So, but that's what you wanna do on this whole thing, and I'll let you know if I run into any problem areas. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get started on trimming this up. All right, so right here you can see we kind of have a deep valley, a pocket of fat there. I'm gonna leave that. I don't wanna create a wedge in the top of this. I'm just gonna keep trimming this up. All right, so you can see we got this kind of whittled down. We got some of the hard fat off. I'm leaving this. All the silver skin is pretty much gone. Now on the back side, and you can see that unfortunate gash from the butcher. That's kind of a bummer. I feel like this is gonna dry out, which is really unfortunate. So I'm probably just gonna take this off just so we have a better final product. Just kind of limit it. But the nice thing about this is you can see all that intermuscular fat. It almost looks like a brisket point. And that's unfortunate that we had to take that off, but I feel like it was just gonna dry out. So just for the sake of having better ribs, I'm just gonna have to sacrifice that piece. You can save that for grind, burger grind, but I just wanna show you that intermuscular marbling in there. That is fantastic, which is why I don't think we need a ton of fat up on top here. And like I said, the bottom side, I leave this membrane, I leave this fat. I do season the bottom side just because why not? You know, it's not gonna go through all this fat and this silver skin here, but I like to season it up. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up. I'll bring you back and show you how we're gonna season this. All right, so to season these up, we're going pretty Texas style on these today. I'm just gonna use a little bit of Worcestershire sauce as a binder here. Not a lot, it's not gonna do much. I just need something to help this stick because this fat, the rub doesn't really wanna stick to it real well. So and on this bottom side, I'm just going straight up, salt, pepper, garlic. I'll have the ratios for what I made this rub out of down below. But just a light layer. Don't need to go super heavy on it. Just get that pressed in. I just like to have a little something on the bottom. Top side, we're gonna come in with the Worcestershire sauce. Get that spread out all around just to create an environment for that rub to stick to. You can see it's nice and tacky now. Come in with the salt, pepper, garlic. Make sure we get our sides. We'll get that pressed in like so. And then on top, just a light layer of the Lawry's, just super light, just for a little pop of flavor on top of there, that seasoned salt. We already have salt in the rub, so we don't wanna go too heavy with that. But that is looking perfect right there. Just hit our edges quick. And there we go, there's our seasoned rack of beef ribs. Let's head out on the smoker and get these on. We're running at 275 degrees today on the Lone Star Grill's pellet grill. So I'll meet you outside at the cooker. All right, so we have the Lone Star Grill's pellet grill running at 275 degrees. Got a pork butt down there for a different video. I'm just gonna go ahead and get these beef ribs right up top there. And we're just gonna let them get some good smoke, let them do their thing. We'll check back in probably about 2-3 hours. All right, so it has been 3 hours at 275 degrees for these beef ribs, and they are cooking a little bit quicker because they are above the fire pot. So up top here, it is a little bit hotter. Just take an internal temperature reading here. And we are sitting at about 180 degrees, which is perfect. We're starting to get some really nice bark formation on here. They're starting to sweat out. We got some amazing pullback. The fat is rendering well right here. I'm just gonna let these keep going. Probably come out and check them in another hour, 2 hours, somewhere in there. Really wanna just cook these to color. I'm not gonna be wrapping these at all. So once they're feeling tender is when we're gonna pull them. They're looking amazing. So I'm gonna get these in, get it shut down. When I bring you back, I'll let you know how long it's been, but we'll probably do a check in another hour or so. I am going to spritz with just a little bit of water here. Let me get this shut down and we'll see you in an hour or two. All right, so it has been another 2 hours. We're sitting at 5 hours total on these beef ribs, and they are looking real nice. Take a temperature reading here. We're only sitting at about 187 between the bones. We're sitting at about 192. So we're getting there. I can see it's definitely still pretty tough. So we're just gonna let these things keep rocking and rolling, keep cooking. We wanna cook these tender. Like I said, we're not wrapping, so we're just gonna let them keep going. Got nice fat render right here. You can see it's nice and juicy, nice and bubbly. But yeah, still sitting in that 180 to 190 range, kind of stalled out here. And that is okay with me because I just wanna keep building this bark and it's starting to look fantastic. So I'll bring you back when these are done, let you know how long it's been, but you really kind of want to keep watching them, going by tenderness, going by feel. Like I said, I don't like to wrap them. I like that crispy bark on there. If you want to wrap them, it'll speed up the process, but for me, you get a nice tender, juicy beef rib with some nice crispy bark. That's exactly what we're looking for. So we're just going to let these things keep going, and I'll bring you back when they're done and let you know how long it's been. All right, guys, so it's been another hour on our beef ribs. I'm just going to check temperature, and I can tell you right now, this side's sitting at about 197, 200, still pretty tight right there. And then this side, we're sitting at about 190. So I did rotate them just so this side would catch up with this side. This side is a little bit thinner. So yeah, I've gone ahead and rotated them. I'm gonna give them another 30 minutes or so, see how they're looking. I'm guessing it's gonna be at least another hour here, just judging by the feel on here and where the temp's at. So we will see you guys in 30 minutes to an hour and we'll check on them then. All right, so it has been another hour. We're gonna check for tenderness here, and I mean, that is straight butter. Everything is feeling real nice. So I'm gonna get these off, and then I'm just gonna wrap them in foil and let them rest on the counter for about an hour to 2 hours. I just wanna soften that bark a little bit, but I mean, that looks fantastic. That fat is nice and rendered. This is a beautiful rack of beef ribs, so I'm just gonna let these things rest for an hour or two, and I'll bring you back when it's time to slice into them. But yeah, looking absolutely fantastic. So we will see you in an hour or two. All right, so after a 2 hour rest, here are no wrap beef ribs, easy cook today, salt, pepper, garlic. We have some nice fat right here. Look at my hand, my finger just slide right into that. That is beautiful, crispy bark on the outside. Took about 8.5, 9 hours, somewhere in there at 275 degrees. And I can't wait to slice into them anymore, so enough yapping. Let's just slice into them. Yeah. Check that out. Beautifully juicy. That looks so nice. Oh, look at that. Look at the juice in there. Absolutely beautiful. So soft, so tender. Let me go ahead and slice off the other one here. We'll just take a look at this middle one. Yeah, there we go. That is the creme de la creme there. Absolutely fantastic. That bark on there looks amazing. So let's take a look. The last one, yeah, all the above, holding up nice. Well, that one was holding up nice, but looking all right. Just get a slice anyways. Get this membrane off the bottom here. Check that out. Pulls apart effortlessly. Let's jump out, let's do a taste test. Check that out. Beef rib as big as my head. That looks amazing. I'm just gonna take this right off the bone. Boom. about like so. Yeah, look at that. Boneless beef rib. That's what's up. I'm gonna slice it against the grain here. Yeah, beautiful, tender, barely hanging on. Cheers. It's delicious. It's rich. It's fatty. It's salty. It's smoky. It's everything I want in a beef rib. And it's just unbelievable. That crunchy bark is fantastic. I mean, absolutely amazing. You guys, if you haven't given beef ribs or no wrap beef ribs in general a try, you have to. It is amazing. The seasoning on here, just a simple salt, pepper, garlic is so good. We have a thick bark. We have a deep smoke ring. We have some fatty, tender meat. Chop it up, make some tacos, make some whatever you want. Eat it plain by itself, but the fact is that I could not eat a whole one of these myself. It is way too rich, but it's gonna make some great dinners. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe, and we will see you next time.